up, two-timers? We're back at it again with another video. And I'm here with a special guest. My first ever special guest, my best friend, Sin.
Hi, guys.
Clap it up. Round of applause, round of applause. So today we will be talking about Black mental health because it matters. And Black women also matter.
For sure.
Too.
For sure.
So, period. So, we're going to talk about the misconceptions of the Black community when it comes to mental health. Ways we can come together. Ways we can come together and help each other heal. Like, because I feel like it's years of healing that needs to be done. And I feel like we're on the right track. Like, within these past, 3 years? Like, I feel like...
More than 3 years.
Yeah, more than 3 years. I feel like the Black community, millennials, and also, older generations, we've done this, we've revolutionized it within our community. And it's been an amazing thing. So, I love it. It's actually the field, that we work in. And we love it.
Well, for me, I feel like I graduated Prairie View, the illustrious Prairie View. I graduated Prairie View 2017. My major is social work. However, initially my field, I worked in geriatrics, but even then I worked in a residential treatment center. But you've seen all types of mental health, and it comes off so easily for people to just be like, oh, well, this person has dementia, or this person, is going through this. But sometimes they do have mental health disorders. So, been in this field for quite some time, but it's interesting. I learned a lot every day.
I've definitely been in this field for since 2018. So what? 3-4 years? Yeah. 3? About 18. Okay, 3 going on 4. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what we mean. But I also graduated from the illustrious Prairie View A&M University. But I actually graduated with my criminal justice degree. And with that, the way I kind of got into the field was I started off at a jail before I made it to an actual facility. So I worked at a mental health jail, then I went to a facility. And I think me working at the jail was literally the most eye-opening, amazing experience ever. It literally, I feel like, per se, it threw me, how people be like, you just throw you, what is it, in the ocean without a boat? I don't want to call them wolves. I want to say thrown into the wolves, but I don't want to call them wolves.
I feel like I still get the concept that you're saying.
Right.
Even for you to be able to get your feet wet, your major was in criminal justice. So, let's start off at a jail. But
exactly.
Any other person would think of oh my God, you work at a jail?
Literally, that's everything. Every time what is it called? It was every single time I would tell somebody, I would be like, y'all work at a mental health jail. I would say it so casual, and they was like, jail, mental health, are you okay?
Literally.
And I'm like, I'm fine, guys. It's gonna be okay. People would think I was working with, just the misconception that they had. People were thinking that I was working with the worst of the worst, when it's it's really just a group of misunderstood people who don't have the economic background to get the help that they need. So they kind of find other outlets, which may not be the best, and it makes them end up in the predicaments that they're in.
For sure.
So basically, it's just kind of I was up to it. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all. At the very beginning, I was so nervous. My first day, I was terrified.
I would have been. For sure.
Yeah, I was terrified because also with my common misconceptions, fresh out of college.
Oh my God, it's jail. And it's different when you're actually in a classroom and they teaching you about this.
Right.
DSM-5. They teach you about all these disorders.
But see, you was in social work, so they kind of taught y'all.
You're right.
I didn't. Right. Criminal justice is a criminal offense, jail.
Oh my God.
It was never let's specify why a criminal. Let's specify factors. It was probably one class on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna fake the funk, but it gets you very much prepared for the criminal justice world, but I was going into the mental health world. Right. So, they did what needed to be done on their part.
So first day on the job, like, how would you describe it? I know you said that you were nervous, but like...
My first day on the job, anxious. I wasn't scared, but anxious. Like, I was like, what is this day gonna bring? Like, if somebody just gonna walk up to me and be like, I don't like you, I'm gonna hurt you. Like, I literally thought that in my head. I'm like,
you have to go through like them teaching you like how to restrain someone.
Mm-hmm. I have to go through all of that, and I was like, I gotta do it. I think that's when it set in. Like, it had set in. We was in training, and they were like, yeah. So now we'll come back tomorrow. It was like, oh, you know how our job trainings be. It'd be like 2 weeks long. And so one day they would literally, and they were like, okay, tomorrow we working on restraints. And I was like, restraints?
Not PMAB.
PMAB. That would have stopped playing. Restraints. Yeah. Yeah.
That really was it.
That was it. Okay. We ready to restrain. So I walked in, and it's like, it's kind of intimidating at first, because when you walk in, like,
and I'm a new person.
You a new person, you in a jail. So when you walking in, girl, you think you in jail the way you walking in. Like, you gotta go through 5 different doors. Somebody gotta unlock this door. Then you go through this door and that other door. And like, it's super secure. Like, then you walk through, you see, like, you just see how stuff is. Like, you like, dang, like, people, like, this is really a thing.
Yeah, I probably would have been in there.
I was like, oh, so
Only because, social work and criminal justice, like, I know a lot of people that they double major, like they'll have criminal justice or they'll have a minor in social work.
I should have done that, but remember, I wanted to be a lawyer first, remember?
For sure.
So, y'all, that's a whole nother situation within itself.
But it's okay to change your mind.
Perfectly fine to change your mind.
If you don't love what you do, then...
why are you doing it?
What are you doing?
Exactly, in real life.
But yeah, social work, criminal justice, they kind of tie hand in hand.
They really do.
But at the same time, it's different. So when I say, like, oh my God, I would have been so nervous, or I would have been in there, like, that wasn't my field. Like, me starting in geriatrics, it was kind of like a rehab. Like, if a person falls, break their hips, like, stuff like that. It was more so of, now I have to give them the resources to get to the next point. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Different. It's different, though.
Like, it's different. It was about, like, and then us, with now, like, y'all were literally best friends and coworkers. Yeah, you and your best friends.
I still can't believe that.
I really can't believe that. Like, from undergrad to coworkers.
I send him emails during the week.
Literally. And I act like I don't know her. And I be like, thanks, Sin, thanks, girl.
I love it, though.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, y'all best friends could never. Period. So basically, but I love the field that we work in. We literally, like, one of our missions in life is to literally deconstruct the misconceptions of the Black mental health community. Like, we literally want to knock all those barriers down, because it's like, y'all, it's really just such a diverse field. And it's like, you can't, some people really, that's a real thing. And that goes into, the next topic, stigmas on Black mental health.
For sure.
So it's like, with certain stigmas, we all know, like, older Black people, we're gonna be honest, like, older generation, they're always like, oh, just go to sleep, or just pray it off. And it's like, well, granted, I do love the Lord, but I still need help. Like, prayer, definitely do it. But can I pray? Like, because, faith without work is dead. So, hello. So I want to pray and I want to go get help at the same time. Because, like, that's what they put on here. That's what,
I feel like, really, like, even not only mainly in African-American communities, and I'm just going based off how I was raised.
Right.
Like, a lot of the times, like, and even with me being in the field that I work, a lot of the parents or the families that I work with, they seem to think that it's a switch, like that they can just like you're not really like that, like you don't see this, you don't hear that, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
they like, and you really
it's not a switch, that a person can actually turn off at any point in time. Like this is actually an illness.
Exactly, like, it's literally a condition. Like it's not something that is just like, oh, let me give you some medicine and you gonna be good. Take this medicine about a week, and then when this week over, you gonna be cured. It's not that. It's literally like a lifestyle. It's like these are things that you need to do. You need to make it a routine of your day. Like, cause once when certain situations go down, people need to know that you have that condition.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not nothing to hide. I know once again, with the misconceptions and the stigmas, it feels as though you will be judged and things of that nature. And like, I didn't get exposed. Like I said, like, she studied all of it. Like
just the different disorders, even as far as certain medications that you would take in order to cope with whatever it is. But I mean, as far as, like I said, it's different when you're reading something and actually can put it in an exam and all this other stuff. But like when you see it in person, and we have the other stigma and misconception, or it's easily to say, you acting bipolar. Like,
yes, it's like how you act like that. You can't act when it's real.
Yeah, it's different, like as far as when you see different things like that in full effect, like this person's actually going through it.
Exactly.
So that's what kind of made me, I guess you could say, what's the word that I would use? I can't even think of it. I just had a brain fart.
Oh, no, my stomach. Did you hear that?
Oh,
my stomach growled.
You hungry?
I guess so. Oh, okay. Somebody order me a pizza. Cause my stomach clearly growling. Yeah. Just DM me. And I'll tell you what you need to know. So you can get this address over here. But yes, like these stigmas are a real thing, y'all. Like it's literally like people will literally not get help just because of these stigmas.
It's sounding crazy.
Feeling crazy.
Because a lot of people.
Some people like, I felt crazy. I felt all these thoughts in my head. Yeah. I felt this. Like, we gonna talk about it, y'all. Like, we ain't gonna sit up here and play with y'all. Like, people are like, oh, I heard these thoughts. Like, some unwanted thoughts, some things like that. And it's like, Pooh Bear, it's okay. Like, and that be just like that. You need to be a shoulder to lean on, shoulder to cry on, all of that. Like, you need to be there for people. Like, let's break down the crazy misconception and you're gonna be fine, girl. That's okay. Like, because that's how people go to, I'm gonna be real. That's how people turn to other alternatives. Oh, I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna tell my mama this. I'm not gonna tell my dad this. So I'm finna start doing drugs. Or so I'm finna start another unhealthy habit. Yeah. Like, I'm finna start things of that nature. And it's like, you could just simply get help in real life. So, have you had any personal experiences, like yourself or with people in your life? Like,
as far as just being from a super small town, like I'm not from the city. Like, I'm a real country girl, so I feel like a lot of the time,
a real country girl,
the resources that the city has is not always. We don't always have that equal opportunity in such a small town, and I would say it could be as far as how I was raised as well. Like, as far as one of the biggest things, like as far as going to therapy. Yeah, I know that could be one of the stigmas as well as a part of like mental health. Like, people not knowing that it's okay to go to therapy.
Exactly.
But as far as personal experience, I do have family members that are that have went through like mental health issues. I don't know. I gotta think on that one.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's fine. I didn't. Okay, so I had a family member who I deal with anxiety. So let me start saying, let me start there first. So I deal with anxiety. Like, it's not nothing that I'm ashamed about. It's not nothing, like, I feel like it's a normal thing. People don't talk, because people don't talk about it as much. Like, it just take one person. If I have to be that person to stand up and be like, I deal with it, and it's okay, and I can help the next person, then of course I'll share my story. Like, I deal with anxiety, and I did not start dealing with anxiety until I got grown. That was the crazy part for me.
And I feel like that's why it feels so unfamiliar.
Extremely.
And hey, a couple months ago when I had my first, like, it wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was an anxiety attack, but I do feel like that it was an episode and it felt super unfamiliar, like, as far as the room getting smaller.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Right. Like, that was a great example. Yeah, like, I had a family member who had it before me. And so when she had it, I was just like, what's going on? What's that? But once again, I had never dealt with it. I was in college. So, you in college, like, baby, I'm in school. So I don't really just be, I'm gonna give it a buck. When you at school having a good time, you don't really just be like, what my mama doing? What my people doing? What my cousin doing?
You're constantly on the go.
On the go, you got class. If you in an organization, you there. If you got a test, you studying. If you got a boo, you at the house. Like, it's just whatever you want to do. Like, it's you at college. Go to college, kids. It's fun. But it's just like, like I said, I seen it, but I seen somebody in my family go through anxiety, but it wasn't like, like I said, I was in school. Like, I didn't have to see it every day.
Absolutely.
So, y'all, I had my first, I'm 25 right now, my first anxiety attack. How old was it when we graduated?
23?
When we graduated?
High school or college?
College.
I was 23.
Oh, yeah, because I was 22. You're right. Okay. No. I was 21 because remember we graduated in August. My birthday was 2 weeks after graduation. So I was 21 when I graduated, but 2 weeks later I turned 22. So you was...
Yeah, I was
23. You were 22 because I was 21. Okay. You was that October you was turning 21.
One of them ages.
One of them ages. I was 21. She was 22. Don't worry about it. We was grown. We was grown. Wow. And so basically, so it was at the age of 20. No, I'm finna get real technical. It was at 20. It was at 22 because I graduated when I was 21. 2 weeks later, I turned 22, and then 2 weeks later after that, I had got my first job, like outside of college. And I was at my first job. I had worked at the museum, and when I was at the museum, I had an anxiety attack, like out of nowhere, y'all. Mm-hmm. Like, it was really out of nowhere. Me and this girl, I'll never forget this. A situation had happened at work. We kind of had got into it, and when we got into it, we were just like arguing back and forth. And I was like, she had said something, and I was like, that wasn't smart to even say or to even think. Like, and so we kind of got into it back and forth. The next day, she apologized to me. And then, like, when she apologized, it was like, in my head, I was literally overthinking, like, do she really mean it? Is that really a thing? Like, is she apologizing just because so she could sound good? Is she apologizing? Y'all, I was overthinking to the point where I made myself have an anxiety attack. Like,
it's a real thing, though.
Yes. I was like, this is so crazy. Like, have y'all ever seen that tweet where it's like, on Twitter, it's like, my anxiety is happening. Me. What? Anxiety. It's happening right now.
But no,
me.
For real, though.
What? It's like that. Anybody that's dealing with that, if you dealing with anxiety for real, you know that is exactly how it goes. You will literally overthink over nothing. And that's exactly what I did. And y'all, I woke up I was like panicking. I felt like everything was out of whack. I literally had to run downstairs. I will never forget this. I ran downstairs and I was just like, Mama. And she was like, what? I woke my mama up. She was like, what? What's up? My job, 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke my mama up. She was like, what's up? I was like, just give me a hug. And she gave me a hug. She was like, okay, cool. She had sleep, but you know, that's my mama, so she gonna do her thing. So she gave me a hug. And then I went in the living room, y'all. I sat in the living room. We got like this little recliner seat in the living room. And I just sat there for like 30 minutes in the dark, pitch black. Pitch black. I'm just looking, I'm like, ooh, okay. Like, I eased myself out. But I went to bed and like, I woke up the next morning and you know what? It's crazy. I woke up the next morning and called somebody from college. I ain't gonna say the name because I don't know if they, comfortable with me disclosing their information. Mind your business. So I called one of my great friends from college who went through anxiety like months prior. And once again, I had never experienced it. So when she was telling me, I was kind of like, huh? Well, what you mean when you say this happened and this happened? I called her and I was like, why this just happened? I was like, remember all the stuff you was telling me? She was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, well, like, I just went, like, I was overthinking. I was doing all the other stuff you said you was doing. She was like, oh, my God. She was like, Jalen, that's exactly how I felt. And I was like, wow, like, this is crazy. Like, and it was a thing. Like, and that friend, she, like, went to the, like, it was, like, her story and my story was, it was real crazy. Those situations were very crazy. So that's when I was the first person. It took me like 5 months to tell my parents. I mean, that was my first encounter with it. Then it took me like 5 months to tell my parents. Thank God I have parents that like weren't like, go to sleep.
Just sleep it off.
Just sleep it off. You'll be fine. You ain't got to talk to no therapist. That's for crazy people. That's for...
Believe it or not, y'all, like there is actually people out there still to this day that believe that. I personally do not have a therapist, but it has been something that has been heavily on my mind. Like as far as not only just about mental health, because who knows? Like as far as like
I want one
with depression or even just being able to cope with everything, especially with we is in this panoramic.
This panoramic, y'all, this Panera bread is really taking us through it. But I see what you're saying. Like, I said the same thing. Like,
thought about it.
And you know what we just talked about before this. Like, with that situation, I feel like I always be like, you know what? If I needed a therapist, not saying I don't, because I feel like everybody needs it in some aspect of life to keep it above. I feel like everybody needs it.
It's not just for
you ain't gotta be. You don't have. That's another.
Have a mental health
good
disorder,
job.
like,
you don't need to have no mental health disorder or condition. Therapy can be for somebody who just. You don't even have to have none of that. Anybody. It can literally be for anybody.
Being available or having someone available to just let it all out. Just unravel with.
Yes.
Just talk about whether it's everyday life or what you're dealing with, whether it's anxiety, depression, no matter what it is.
Or, right, like you said, anything. I have like 4 friends who go to therapy, y'all. They say they love it. Like they say... And, people usually be like, I could just talk to my friends. Your friends are not mental health professionals. They're not trained in that. They don't have a degree for that. They don't practice exercises for that every day. You talk to them and they give you advice, which is amazing. Shout out to the friends. It's amazing. But there's nothing like going to get professional help because that's what those people are trained to do. Like, and... I feel like I always, like, even though I don't have a reason to go, even though, like, even with when I get pissed off at certain things, I'm like, maybe I get pissed off at this for, like, this reason. Like, I wouldn't mind having a therapist. I want one. At this point, where mine at? Sign us up. Now, y'all know just sign us up. That's it. That's all.
No, but on a serious note, like I actually do. I actually have thought about for a while, like going to therapists. However, I will just say it. I want a therapist that looks like me. I want to see and I mean woman wise and African American. Like I would prefer a female therapist. Like as far as just having her understand me,
Period.
Same thing with women wanting to have a female doctor. I don't know, but
Yeah. I definitely want mine to be like a black man. Like, because, our struggles, and if it's a black woman too, I ain't mad at that. Sis, hey, I'll tell you my problems too. But it's just like, with certain black things, and yeah, definitely, like, I want them to identify more with me as well, like, on some, like, a black LGBTQ,
for sure,
like, therapist, definitely. So, and they have that because we're also going to give you guys resources at the end of this video. So, yes. But most definitely, so now we can, these statistics. Yes. Y'all, we're going to give y'all some statistics and things of that nature because we're here to talk about it. And you know what? Don't be afraid to DM me because I want to have more videos like this as well. You can DM me, and if you want to talk about your experience, we most definitely can. Like, if you need to hit me up, everything is in the description below and all of that. So, very much so. So one of our statistics, well, a set of our statistics are coming from the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And so, hold on, we see. Oh, this one with the real good resources. Okay, I'm going to do this one right now. I'm going to do the one with the good statistics. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this one is from psychiatry.org. So it's mental health disparities amongst African Americans. So it's stating that it says mental health status, use of services, and disparities. So only 1 in 3 African Americans who need mental health care receive it, and that's due to socioeconomic reasons. Rates of mental, what did I say?
So that's an interesting one.
That is interesting. Rates of mental illness in African Americans are similar with those of the general population. However, disparities exist in regard to mental health care services. African Americans often receive poor quality of care and lack of access to cultural competent care. That is a real thing. It is.
That goes back to, again, me talking about, like, where I'm from. Like, it's not as big as Houston. So, I mean, just the availabilities of the clinics. Literally having to drive anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. I mean, there are certain agencies, but as far as it's not as common as the different agencies, such as like the Harris Center or different things like that. It's not as many in small towns.
Period. So compared with the general population, African Americans are less likely to be offered either evidence-based medication therapy or psychotherapy. So it's definitely a lack of resources in real life. Like, even though it is a socioeconomic thing, I feel like we still, like it says, like, we're in lack of, we need, more people like us in that field because it makes people feel more comfortable to talk to. Physician-patient communication differs for African Americans and whites. One study found that physicians were 23% more verbally dominant and engaged in 33% less patient-centered communication with African American patients than with white patients.
Wow.
Right, that's crazy. Okay, psychiatry.org. Did not know this. With the stats for real. Black people with mental health conditions, particularly schizophrenia, bipolar disorders, and psychosis, are more likely to be incarcerated than people of other races. Boom. So that goes back to literally when I worked at the jail and said that these are people who just did not have the socioeconomic, they didn't have the socioeconomic background to get care. So since they couldn't get care, they choose and find other outlets.
Or even then it leads to different outcomes, because I've also, and this has been something that I've seen on multiple like social media platforms, it says they never want to ask about what triggered you, only what took place when it triggered you.
I get what you're saying. Like when your episode happened, what made your episode happen.
Nobody cared to know why.
Why do you feel like
even in what our roles are as far as being caseworkers, facilitators, that's a lot of times we create what's called like these crisis plans, and that's one of the first things that it starts with. Like, how will I get to know this individual if I don't know what their triggers are? So I feel like what you mentioning, like, oh, okay, now it's going to lead to other things because people aren't recognizing like what these folks' triggers are. Like,
and that's very true. They're not. They're not recognizing it. So the thing is to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Not scratch the surface. Baby, dig deep in real life. So we're gonna extend y'all resources. We're gonna extend y'all resources for anybody who's watching this and you don't feel, you want to keep everything bottled up. That's not the way to do things. And so let me rephrase that. If you're not a open person, with talking about things like this, and you're still working your way up to being comfortable about your situation, we're gonna extend y'all, resources that you can talk to. Like, you can virtually see these people. Some people, you can go to their office, you can call them, you can just set up things, make an account with them.
For one, well, if you are in the Harris County areas,
yes,
there is a Harris crisis line, 713-970-7000. Always option 1.
Always call that crisis line, especially if you're in the Harris County community.
Absolutely.
Like, amazing, trained professionals, they'll get the job done. Just, hey. And if you need to go there, it is 9401 Southwest Freeway.
Yep.
Yes.
Houston, Texas.
Exactly. So, hold on, I got it. The one. Oh, okay, here you go. So, National Alliance of Mental Illness. So, Black Mental Health Resources, they have the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective, which is BEAM. Black Men Heal, Black Mental Health Alliance. That number, they put a number on the side, so I'm going to tell y'all, because it's a resource, 410-338-2642. The next one is Black Mental Wellness. They have Black Women's Health Imperative, the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, Brother, You're on My Mind, Ebony's Mental Health Resources by State, Hurdle, Melanin and Mental Health, Ourselves Black, wow, PLC.
I like that.
Which one? Melanin and Mental. Oh, that is cute. That's really cute. PLC Online, y'all, and the list goes on. And also, and you know what? Before I forget this, shout out to the Tulsa Public Schools. When was that? Like 2-3 weeks ago when I did that seminar?
Was that 2-3 weeks ago?
That is an amazing school district. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout out to my friend Leah, she's from there. And basically, I did a Zoom seminar for a high school for Black History Month. And it was amazing. Everyone on that panel was amazing. Everybody on that panel was amazing. They emailed me so many resources. Unlock your phone real quick so I can show y'all the list, because y'all can hit me up and I will give y'all, literally DM me. So this is the list of all, I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. Who this means? Can y'all see it? Wait a second. Oh, y'all can't see it. It's a long list that, hold on. There we go. Okay. Y'all, this list is long. Okay? And I will literally, it's so many to read off. It's like, they have Black Girl Smiles, Liberty Mediation, Inclusive Therapists, free therapy for Black frontline protesters. Like, this is a real thing. And this comes from a lady who worked in the Chicago Black Lives Matter community. She was a part of the panel. And she sent us these resources. So, if y'all need to see it. Exactly. If y'all want these resources, literally DM me. DM me. Because I'm most likely going to post this video tonight. Or, well, tomorrow Sunday, I got some stuff, a little turning up to do. But, Monday, if not tonight, then Monday for sure. But it's so many on here. If y'all really need it, just DM me. And also DM Sin. I'm going to put Sin's information in the description below. DM her because, like I said, that's what we want to do. We want to, for the Black community, we want to break down all these stigmas. We want Black people to feel more comfortable with their mental health and be able to talk about it. So, yes.
Freely.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Freely. So, y'all, please go follow Sin. She did amazing. And I will see y'all later, two-timers. Period.